Gonna use all 8 hours.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for checking out Comic Conversation this week. We're over here on my channel, Exhaust State Comics. Jesse is, super awesome, Mr. JLS, and gets to go to movie premieres. So we're not that cool. So we're here with you. That was horrible, I know. But I hope he's having a good time. Should we say what he's seeing? Well, everybody, if you're following him on Instagram, he's seeing Shazam, even though Captain Marvel's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, crazy debate right there in your head. What character am I talking about? But we got Edwin with us tonight, Mr. Strictly Comics himself, and our good buddy Chris, Mr. Boston Chris Comics. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Fabulous, sir. Fabulous.
Fabulous. Edwin's sitting over there making money.
A little bit.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Mr. Unknown Comics guy, how's it going, brother? And Tebow himself, Mr. Lords of the Long Box, is here with us in the chats. So we know Bueller's got a big thing. We jumped over tonight, so mostly everybody.
What?
Huh? Comics with Bueller has a show going on right now.
Never mind.
What did you think I said?
He said he's got a big thing. Sorry, caught me off guard there for a second.
And the show breaks down before it starts.
Yeah.
Good times. No, I don't know. But so we'll just see. I think a lot of people will probably catch this one post live, but we'll see. Daniel Yabari's here. What's going on, Daniel? Thanks for joining.
Taco Dan.
Yes, sir. All right. So, have any of you guys actually watched Jesse's review of Captain Marvel yet? I have not, because I don't want to know his thoughts.
I watched it this morning.
Yeah,
I watched it this morning. It was a solid review. I think Jesse always tries to go into stuff, without any kind of bias or anything. But it kind of reminded me of his review of Solo. There was some trouble with pacing, he said, and consistent with what I've been hearing other people say is kind of her lack of expression and not really having very much character development in this film. So that's just kind of what I recall.
That's kind of concerning to hear. There's not a lot of character development of a character that they're focused on for like 2 hours.
You should have a character. I mean, the movie's solely about her. They should have, established her pretty quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah,
at least in the first half hour.
That's just not good to hear. But I mean, I'm definitely gonna go see it this weekend. So regardless, I'm gonna go see it because I want to see it, and I want to see the end credit scene and all that good fun stuff that's gonna be related to Endgame. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I want to see
and Daredevil shows up.
What? Yeah, right.
Spoiler.
No way.
I want to see the Super Skrull if he's in there.
Actually, this just in, Rotten Tomatoes audience reviews are actually coming in right now.
Breaking news, everybody. We're going to report them
this
first.
Literally is breaking. Yeah. Right now, it is Rotten at 59%.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
What? Rotten.
It is Rotten at
breaking
59%.
I'm not worried about that because I don't know how many people, like when it comes up to it, I don't know how many people are taking the time to go ahead and just kind of continue the hate train that they started and like, oh, we couldn't do it before. Now we can do it because they're letting us do it again. So
it's at almost 1,500 audience reviews right now.
Yeah.
1485. So,
I'm not worried.
I mean, I don't want to discourage people. I mean, I'll probably see it eventually. I'm not going to see it the first week, but I probably will eventually see it, just like I did Solo. But I'm just saying where it's at right now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Do what you want with your money.
I don't really look into that type of stuff when it comes down to all that, just because you almost can't. I mean, in truth, as far as if you're gonna try to be objective, you really can't, just because the fact is nowadays doesn't matter what kind of movie it is. If when a group of people get together and just don't like something, like they just make it their mission to try to like make it, give it as much negative publicity as they possibly can. So I mean, doesn't really.
It's just crazy to like. That's your focus, like. I'm gonna go spend money to see a movie that I know going into it I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna pick it apart, and I'm gonna waste my money to go see this movie just so I can then go get online and talk about how much I dislike this movie that I wasted my money on to see because I knew I was already gonna hate it.
Just I guess when you like, I don't know if any of you guys ever watched the Howard Stern movie. When they're when they're sitting there and they're talking, they're just like, the average Stern listener listens for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then it's like, okay, and he's like, most common answer, I want to see what he's gonna say next. And he's like, the average Stern hater listens for, and the guy ended up listening for like 6 hours. He's like, why do they hate him? Why do they listen? Most common answer.
That private parts, right?
Yeah, but that's like when people hate something, they just want to be able to be like, I told you it sucked. See, I told you, you know what I mean? Get on their soapbox. It's just, it's because everybody has a platform and everybody thinks that their opinion matters, and it's a big. It's just like people that haven't realized that. I mean, just in general. I mean, in a good way. If you have good things to say, like this show, you kind of can get on and say these things and get out there and just make your voice heard. But on the other side of it, everybody just feels like they have the right to do it, which you do, but it's very hard to drown out some of the negativity, and people will just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they get their self out there and say, well, they might not listen to me, but listen to all of us as one. So I say go out there and see it if you want to see it, and enjoy it if you like it. If you don't like it, your opinion, that's fine, but in the end, Marvel's still going to make the money, and Marvel's still going to make the movie, and it's still going to, keep continuing on. Same with DC and everybody else who's out there making movies. So the best thing to do is if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's all.
Well, I understand. I guess I just don't hate anything that much to waste my money on.
Well, exactly. And if you're determined, like if you're a comic fan and determined to see it, but you're not a fan of Brie Larson, then root for the Skrulls. Whether they win or lose, just root for them. Just because the way I see it, you got to look forward to something. And if she's not doing it for you, then hey, there's something else in the movie that's pretty cool. The Skrulls are in the movie, and potentially you get to see the Super Skrull. If I'm praying he's in the movie, just because I'd be sick to just see a Super Skrull in there.
When did they start? Because Super Skrull, the rights for the full on Skrulls, or Super Skrull at least, I know was with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I would I would love to see that just because it would be cool to see on screen. They're probably going to have to wait until, Or
just like something up on a screen flashing up, like where he's like being tested on or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be cool. It'd be cool at least to like hear about it.
Yeah. Even if he's just like a cloaked figure, is like, who's that guy? Oh, don't worry about him. He's, trust me, when we have to call him in, you'll know that it's trouble. Anyway, back to our Skrull dealings, That'd be kind
of. I mean, before all this, feminism, political crap was coming up, the biggest thing to me about this was the fact that Shazam comes out in a month, and both of them were Captain Marvel at one point. And I'm thinking, like, I think the most interesting thing to me is like to find out which one. I guess I wouldn't say necessarily which one is going to make more money, but which one is, I guess, an overall better story. But then again, I would have to say both, because it's just weird because they're both Captain Marvel. They're both coming out close around the same time, and Shazam's been around since the 1940s or something like that. And then they had that whole issue with DC where DC was suing the people that created Captain Marvel, and that litigation. I think it went for like 10 or 15 years. Before they finally just gave up because of all the cost that was going into fighting.
Wait. Was the lawsuit length what caused them to lose the name?
What it was they said that Shazam or Captain Marvel, there was too much.
Okay, that was the Superman.
Superman.
That was the Superman. Well, how did they actually lose the rights to the name Captain Marvel?
That's a good question. I don't know.
If I last recall from the documentary that I watched, they ended up just giving up because the litigation was going on for at least a decade. And I think what happened was they eventually just ran out of money.
I was gonna say, because I mean, when it comes down to it all, it's just like I think part of the problem too was that it didn't matter because Fawcett was the ones that came about, even if they bought out the asset and everything like that. Like, I mean, they stuck to calling him Shazam for a long time. Like he had not been Captain Marvel, for a lengthy period of time, and then all of a sudden, you know, Marvel decides to go ahead and make their own character, change his name up. He's not, specifically Marvel as in their name, but Marvel, So it just the way I see it, they're not going to be, they're going to be two very different movies. I think that Shazam would be more of the, I think that Shazam is going to be more of that fun-loving movie, just because I think looks like they're embracing Billy Batson still being kind of a teenager, so it's, I guess you can compare it to like kind of like Big. So you have a grown man acting like a kid, but this is a superpowered grown man, not Tom Hanks. So
which still bothers me, since he's supposed to have the wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah,
as Shazam or as a kid or both.
As Shazam, I don't know if he taps into all that knowledge and stuff when he's just Billy.
Mm.
I don't know.
Though he probably can. That's one of his powers that the wizard didn't tell him about.
I don't know that.
It seems like it's probably going to be like a Greatest American Hero type thing, where the wizard shows up, gives him the power, and just kicks him out. Go figure it out, kid.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're gonna go with more of the like the fun side of him, before they can go ahead and try to make it dark and bring in Black Adam, and have him have to overcome something that's forces him to grow up and maybe develop the wisdom of Solomon at that point, or just be like, oh, like I'm smarter than this, I should know how to deal with this. But
yeah,
the
villain in the trailer looks like he's able to defeat Shazam, so we'll see.
Oh, probably, but I mean, it's just like the way I see it, like I feel like that is still kind of like stepping stone type thing, where it's just like it's not so much of I have to really, like, I've been brought to my lowest point. It's just like more like, don't give up, like you're stronger than this, like here you are, prove who you are, you know what I mean? Not quite like, so it'll be someone that he just can defeat over time, just learning, get mentored and then go forward. It wouldn't be like Zod and Superman and Man of Steel, where it's just like like Superman went to his darkest place just because he had to kill Zod, you know what I mean? I think you'll see that later on when they get to be able to put Black Adam in a movie with Shazam. But yeah,
I don't know. Will it be 101 or they should? Well, they're never going to do another Justice League movie, so it doesn't matter. So.
They will once they get everything together.
I think they'll do it eventually.
I think really, like, I think that they need to do Flashpoint as just a way to be like, all right,
to reset it all,
doing everything over again. Don't even begin to like that. We were drunk when this all happened. Now that we're back to knowing what's going on, here we go. Just because, I mean, and that's the way to do it. I mean, it might seem a little cheap, or in a way where it's just like, all right, you've had a movie cinematic universe that you tried to craft, and you're already rebooting it. Not that long into it, you're gonna go ahead and reboot it and start from the get go and reintroduce all these characters. But it's a smart thing to do, just because they started out on the wrong foot. They started trying to copy Marvel, and they just didn't.
It'd be awesome if they did Flashpoint, and then at the end of it, when the Flash goes back to fix everything, he morphs into Grant Gustafson, like TV Flash. They're like, we fixed it.
I like the Justice League, man. I didn't think it was that bad of a film, but
it wasn't horrible.
It was a step in the right direction, but it wasn't. It's not what everybody. It's not what everybody.
It's not what everybody wanted.
Looking forward to and dreaming of, and it's just like, the toughest thing that they have to deal with that is that if you compare it to Avengers blow. I mean, the first Avengers, not like any of the subsequent, you know what I mean. But Avengers blows it out of the water, just because Avengers delivered on everything, plus more, because it just gave people an experience they wanted. Plus,
we didn't have to kill Captain. Well, I guess he did die. Come on.
Oh.
Nothing. I was like, well, we didn't have to kill Captain America. I was like, yeah, but he did get frozen.
Yeah.
Kind of did that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, what weighed Justice League down to me was the whole fact that we got to bring Superman back instead of him just being there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
You
way
know?
they did him, yeah.
Holy crap, man! You shouldn't have killed him in Batman vs Superman. Wouldn't have this issue now.
Well,
Whatever.
then they had to walk back everything and be like, he was the best. Like, you have Bruce Wayne who spent the whole movie trying to kill him. Then they bonded after, like, oh, our mother's names are the same. Like, we're cool now. And he's just like, he was
exactly.
That's right.
I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I don't know how long you can say. What was it? It's supposed to be a year in movie time. So, I mean, you can sit there and say, yeah, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have tried to kill this guy. Like, it was messed up. I didn't understand him. Fine. But he was the best. You know, all that crap. Get out of here. Like,
he was hope.
Yeah.
Hope.
Exactly. It was just like too hard of a turn on that one. It's just like, you know, really, they should just come out and say, like, look, we rushed this. We didn't, you know, put too much faith in Zack Snyder. Shouldn't have done that. So we're gonna go ahead and just do this over. Because I mean, and that's what they should do. They should look at it and say, you know, you shouldn't just have one specific director to try to.
We're gonna go ahead and turn this movie over to Scott Snyder. And
yeah, it's just. I mean,
he's still a producer in a lot of the films, but yeah, I guess as long as he's not directing it.
No. I'm just saying the writer.
Everybody,
we would like that.
It seemed as though.
Oh, I'm thinking of you said Scott Snyder. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Zack Snyder. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. I'm saying, so this time we're bringing in Scott.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I think if they could reboot Fantastic Four twice and rumored to be doing it again, I mean, I think that they'll hold on to Justice League until the right time. And
oh yeah.
The thing about all that is just that, like, you can't look at Fantastic Four as like a reboot in terms of like they did it to try to improve it, make it. They didn't. They just were just like, we're gonna lose the rights, so make a movie. Like that.
No, I'm just saying that because of screen value and more whatever properties are most valuable. I think that Justice League would probably be a much more valuable property than Fantastic Four, unless Disney reboots it and just totally revamps it and makes it really good, then it would change. But
the only thing I can say, or the only reason I disagree with that, as far as just because how much that Fantastic Four is currently how much of that is how much Fox has tied up in just that title, how many characters and everything. I don't know. I mean, Justice League has a lot of stuff, but it's all under one roof. Like, as far as, you know, the money it's taken to try and get that back, like that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, if Disney is able to clear everything and put it out there, they're gonna milk that for everything they can and make way more money than Justice League ever will. Just because, I mean, Silver Surfer and Galactus alone are gonna be the two biggest, like, keys to, you know, bringing that out there. And it's just like that, like, basically the thing that everybody kind of has to think about too is that Marvel's doing as best they can with, you know, the roster that they can use. But when they are able to take that, you know, basically take the cover off and be like, okay, now we can go the entire universe, you know, it's going to be ridiculous. But, like, to be able to have, you know, a cosmic movie with, you know, potentially Thanos, Galactus, and Silver Surfer all under one roof. I mean, it's really going to be something that, you know, I think if they're
Secret
able to,
War, I'm going to call it right now. Secret Wars has got to happen eventually.
Oh, of course. I mean, if they can get all that together and really, like, if Marvel can get everything on one roof, it's going to be pretty crazy to see what they do. The problem, the question and problem that they're going to have is, are people going to want to wait around to see it all? Just because when it comes down to it, you know, we of course would be like, oh my god, like, can you imagine what Secret War is going to be like? But then it's just like the average person who's, you know, kind of gone ahead and, you know, casual, you know, movie watcher that goes out and just watches these big movies because they're the trending thing. I mean, who's to say it's going to stay the trend? Like, you know, what if everybody now, you know, what if things turn back or something else kind of pops up and people just want to see martial arts movies for a while? It's just like, you know,
I don't think Disney would have forked out $100 billion if they didn't see.
Yeah, no, I mean they see, you know, well, right now all the money is there. Like all eyes are on these products, but it's just like at some point, and I mean, let's say they're able to do it within the next, like, you know, 20 years, and I mean, if superhero movies stay popular for the next, let's say, 15 years, like, that's crazy. I mean, the fact that they've been popular for 10 years is really a testament to how good those movies are. But it's just, to think that you're gonna have, I mean, you'll definitely have a crowd, but to think that if you can just kind of keep this momentum going long enough to, bring out all, have everything merge and go through and bring out all those big names again. I mean, that's really going to be a tough order to fill. But I mean, I'd love to see them do it. Like I'd love to see X-Men movie done right, a Fantastic Four movie done right, and just what other great characters they can bring out of that. That would be just a dream come true to see some of these characters like done right on screen. I mean, I'm in for all of it. So as much as they're willing to give out, I'm there to see it all. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what, like, I don't want them to do Avengers versus X-Men. Like,
Yeah,
don't do that.
That's not necessary.
No, I mean, they have so much with.
They already did a Civil War, which I guess you could say was kind of, close, just heroes against superheroes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I know that movie made a ton of money, so I know they'd be like, "Well, we could do the versus. Yeah, that'll make money. People fighting Avengers. Yeah."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want that to happen, though. Eventually, I think that will happen at some point.
Yeah.
It
would be cool. I mean, it would be cool to watch the Phoenix Force. I like to see the Phoenix 5 on screen. That would be pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, some cool fights. But I'm with you on that one. Like you don't need to see how about you could take a break from the Avengers for a while if you have the X-Men available and just like, all right, let's do some X-Men stories. Let's do these characters. Let's explore these. And same with Fantastic Four. Like what's all this going on? And then
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing is like before the deal was made, it was like locked up almost 100%. It was gonna be a lot of space stuff. Now speculation's kind of died off. Like there's characters that used to have some talk going on that now don't.
Mm-hmm.
So now it looks like they're gonna, we may not get a lot of the space stuff or the cosmic Marvel stuff that we were gonna get.
Yeah, which
as they kind of focus back down.
I would have liked to have seen that too. I mean, just because, and I was also a big fan of the potential. With Doctor Strange, like the magic and occult universe going on there, which you can bring some of the horror characters in and stuff.
Yeah, and I would with the X-Men, I know they're gonna have to do a reboot of some sort, but they have to realize that the collective consciousness of moviegoers has seen the other ones. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But I would really love for them if we're gonna go Phoenix. If they go Phoenix again. Like bring in the Shi'ar this time. Like expand the Marvel universe. Give us stuff we haven't seen yet.
Well, that's all I was gonna say. You don't need to stay stuck on the X-Men just because they're one of the most popular properties that they have. Because I think they did a good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, not that I say I didn't know about the Guardians of the Galaxy back in the '90s when I was collecting comics, but I could have cared less about them.
Yeah,
but now
totally
they're
different
kind of cool.
Yeah. No, of course, and it's just
I like the new book too because Beta Ray Bill's in
it. I think the new, just the fact that you do have that, and you're right. Giving other teams a shot was kind of what made Marvel a little bit more interesting. It's just like, oh, we're getting movies with these characters. Like, I mean, not to say that the Avengers weren't something that people wanted to see, but it's just like if they had that whole stable of characters, it would be like, all right, X-Men, Avengers, or Fantastic Four, which one do you want to see a movie from? Or Spider-Man, which one do you want to see a movie from? It's like, I'm sure X-Men would have won, and then you would have had an Avengers movie after. But
I think a lot of people want to see Sinister Six, though.
Well, yeah, something that's out of the ordinary, so long as it's not a blatant ripoff of something you've already seen would be cool. You know what I mean? Like, if they do it, you don't want to see them rip off the Suicide Squad, and tell a story in that way. I mean, and it wouldn't be the same just because they they're villains doing evil things and not being forced into doing the right thing. They would do whatever evil thing that they wanted to. But I think that the fact that they were giving shots to characters that you wouldn't expect, like I would have never expected an Ant-Man movie or a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, just because, like you said, collecting back in the 90s, it was like, these guys, like, what are we going to put on there? And it's just like, and they pulled it off just because they just told the right story and they did it in a cool way. So I'd like to see them do a little bit more of that, and then kind of like how to develop the big X-Men story if you want to. You know how to go ahead and deliver on uh, um, Fantastic Four story that potentially is going to introduce Doctor Doom, other people down the road. It's just like those you don't have to worry about. Like, but bring up some other characters that no one's seen, or people that are really cool characters that just don't normally get their due. Like that would be cool. I mean, that I think is something that they should not stray away from, just because if they are able to go ahead and get themselves the big chunks from Fox that they've been missing this whole time. So that's just my thoughts on it. I think that I don't think you go away from the formula. I think you incorporate those guys in, but tell some other stories. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to have everybody successful. That's obscure.
Yeah, I just don't want them to completely start over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to watch the X-Men grow up. Like, I just want the movie to start and we have our team. You know what I'm saying? We've got our X-Men team. They're here together. There's something we got to do. We don't have to, like, mesh anymore. We've been a team for a while. You know?
I mean, there's plenty they can do there. It's just, it's just one of those things where, it all depends on how the directors see the fans of it, and it's just like, do they think that casual fans are like, just because you made a great point, everybody knows who they are, like they've seen those other movies for the most part, and it's just like, and for the casual people that haven't seen them, it's just like, well, you know what, you can go ahead and go on whatever video service you want to, and go back and watch these ones. All right, here's your introduction to these guys. That's all you really need. Or just hop on Wikipedia, figure it out, and then like, okay, this movie was really cool, and we didn't have to go back to that point. Like, kind of pick up certain things, I guess. But the good thing too that they can do is a lot of character development that doesn't have to be just bogged down in origin story. You know what I mean? You can just be like, okay, this is where the team is heading now because of XYZ rift in or what happened prior or whatever. It's just something that I think everybody kind of has to just figure out what they're gonna do, just because, and we're not gonna see it for a long time. That's the other thing people will have to kind of come to terms with, is that there's gonna be a lot of development and a lot of different things. So we'll see what happens next. I think that there's so much potential there that, like, they should probably take their time with rolling those guys out, and maybe have a couple more build up movies that characters that you wouldn't expect, or just kind of expand on some of the guys they've brought out now, this kind of phase 4 crew that they've brought out there, and then see where you go from there. Just, and then when you're ready, unleash the X-Men and Fantastic Four properties and stuff.
And Kang. It's all Kang. Kang's behind it all. Kang and Doctor Doom are working together. That's what we're going to find out. Yep.
Kang, Doctor Doom, and Fing Fang Foom are all together.
Right. Yeah, I would say we're at least 2 to 3 years away from actually seeing Fantastic Four, X-Men stuff on the screen.
I think probably longer. I think you're talking maybe like 5 years or so. I think I think that you'll see little hints and Easter eggs here and there, absolutely. But like, to really develop it out, just because it doesn't make sense for them to kind of abandon, like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and that's something they're trying to set up for Phase 4. Like 2 years is kind of too quickly to tell their stories.
We got Doctor Strange 2 announced, so
yeah,
we know that's happening.
I think there's a lot you can do with Doctor Strange. I think that there's more there, and I think that also too, as Disney kind of gets that streaming service up and running, maybe that will be where you can kind of have some of the more origin stories. It's like have like small mini series starring whatever characters to build them up and say, okay, there's the origin stories are in this series. Watch this series, of television that we produce for you. And now when it comes to the movies, here's what you need to see. Like this is what you came to see. All that, baggage has been explained over here, and now here's our feature presentation.
Right. No, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But
and
if Disney, hire me.
What?
Good ideas. Oh, I said if Disney's listening, hire me because I have good ideas. You know, if they do this stuff, I want a cut. That's all
you could be an Imagineer.
Feige, I know you're watching.
All right, shift gears over to DC for this rumor mill, which I've seen and Edwin mentioned earlier today. Idris Elba, good old Heimdall from Thor Ragnarok, is being rumored or possibly already signed to replace Will Smith as Deadshot.
It's funny. It's funny that this came up this week because Vernon Johnson, who tags Tim, TiVo, and I a lot in his Twitter posts, had posted something which I guess he said was a lie. I didn't read the article about who's the guy that played War Machine, the black guy,
Don Cheadle.
That Don Cheadle was in talks of possibly playing Deadshot, and I was like, man, he seems, he's really showing his age, and I don't see him as playing Deadshot. And then I hit him back, and I said, one of the persons who I could see replacing Will Smith is Idris Elba, and that was like either earlier this week or at the very end of last week. And then, of course, this is a rumor, like you had mentioned, but I think it's funny that this has come out, and then I had just mentioned that like a week or less ago.
Did Will Smith say that he didn't want to be Deadshot anymore?
I don't know, but from what I hear, from what Jesse said, that he's not. He hasn't been casted as Deadshot, I guess, in the next Suicide Squad film.
It's probably something that has to do with he demands too much. Like, not that he demands, like his name, just demands too much money, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna go away from you, and and the other thing too is, I mean, it's funny to go with Idris Elba though, just because Idris Elba is just about everywhere now. I mean, you see him in all these.
Yeah, but I think you can get Idris Elba probably a lot cheaper than you can get Will Smith.
Probably just because Will Smith. I mean, say what you want, just because he's been around forever and he's done some big things and made a lot of money. So it does make sense that he'd that Idris would have a cheaper price tag than Will Smith would initially.
Real small part.
And if you can get this guy, who is in all these different movies and all these different things, why not? You know what I mean?
But, okay. Jackie makes a really good point, though. He's like, why replace the actor? Just move on to a new character. He's not DC. He's not Batman. DC can survive without Deadshot.
Which is true.
And especially for the Suicide Squad, there's no point in reusing characters. It's a rotating cast. You know?
I mean, they could easily put him into they could put him into a different persona.
Although I do think they're going to suffer a little bit for not having Harley Quinn. A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. It depends on. I mean,
I just say that because there's more cosplayers, and Harley Quinn has such a much bigger following than probably any other Suicide Squad.
You know how easily they could fix that? Two words. 2 words. Poison Ivy.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Introduce a new female character in there.
But she was never really a part of the Suicide Squad, though, was she?
I'm sure she's been on there.
Yeah, Suicide Squad just is anybody. I mean, Penguin's been on the Suicide Squad before. They just throw anybody in there. So it's like, you know what? You're in jail. You're coming with us. There's a mission. You might die doing it, but
anybody from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Anybody from any kind of Supermax prison gets thrown into that. So it's just like they literally could go ahead and put anybody in that roster, and if Holly's gone, I mean, it's just like, it kind of will tell you the strength of the movie, just because I know a lot of people got, really hyped because, she was in the movie, it was Holly, and then on top of that, everyone's like, oh, Margot Robbie, like, I can't wait to see, but it's just like, if she's gone, then, it challenges you to make a better movie. If you can make a better movie, let's say Suicide Squad 2 is better than 1, and it didn't have Will Smith or Margot Robbie in it, like, that kind of says a lot for that franchise. And it helps to boost people who want to see it. And then if you're able to bring them back, or one of them back, or whatever, if Margot Robbie comes back as Harley, and then you have a solid foundation around her that can, from the last movie, like it'll do even better. So it's just like, that I don't think is a bad decision. I think because people want to see her in there, it's all well and good, but it's just like, this is their chance to really make that franchise, stand out.
And they could create a trend with Suicide Squad by constantly having a rotating cast. So, I mean, I could see it. I mean, but I think that one of the things that really helped the first one was one, you had Batman, which was Batfleck. You had Harley Quinn, you had Will Smith, and you had the Joker, even though people didn't really know the outcome of what the Joker was going to be until after you saw the film. I mean, those are 4 pretty strong elements to get people to go see a film at least opening weekend. So I think it's going to be. I think they got a lot to do to try to match that type of anticipation that they did for the first film. But what's up?
I was gonna say the other thing too that they did was that they marketed it like crazy.
Yeah, they did.
They had a trailer ready to go, like I think it was like 6 months before.
And then that song to go with that trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
that Queen.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, they had that Heathen song too from like 21 Pilots, I think, or somebody.
Yeah, I mean, like they like they spared no expense on the marketing for that movie, which is smart. I mean, that's what you want to do to kind of boost that up there. So I mean,
it had like massive tie-ins to basically a Batman movie.
Yeah, I mean, if they, I mean, forget the storytelling that happened in the movie, but if they market it well, and then on top of that too, if what they have is a strong script and just really done well, like I mean, that they easily can turn around and make it a better movie than because the first one wasn't good. They can easily make that into a good movie. It's just all gonna be in really Warner Brothers kind of taking a step back and not being as iron fisted as they have been with some of their products. Just like if they just let the directors do what they do, like James Gunn can make good movies, and James Gunn, I mean, I don't know if it's confirmed yet or what, because they keep kind of alluding to it, like maybe not. But if he's the one directing it, he knows how to direct good movies. He knows how to inject the humor where he needs to, and just make overall good movies. So, I think that it's in good hands, and there's a really good chance it could be a good movie.
Taco Dan says that Rick Flag is getting replaced. He wasn't really a major character, wasn't?
I did not like Rick Flag in that movie. He actually bothered me more than everybody else. Like not the actor specifically, just the way he played him. Like he was unnecessary. He didn't need to be there. Which is he was so.
Was he the one that was with the Enchantress?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like he basically was just like, I mean, he was just there trying. It was like he was trying to act like be the tough guy. Like I'm the one in charge. It's like no, you're not. Like stay in the back and don't get hurt. That's what you're supposed to do. Like these guys are the ones that are supposed to go ahead and make this move. So he was just really, for me at least, he just seemed useless, and like the way that they put him out there too. And even they did, as far as the story was concerned, they made him like Will Smith when he first talks to him, and he's saying all this different stuff about like what he wants for the deal and this and that. My daughter has to go to this school and that school and da da da. And then he's like, "Oh, all right, you talking about Ivy League and this and that?" And he's thinking that he's like, "I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to your boss." Like that was it. All the authority was gone, and that from that point in the movie, he should have just got his shit and left, because he was useless, completely useless. So Rick Flag in the trash. I don't care if he comes back. I don't care if Rick Flag's ever in those movies again. Like as far as I'm concerned, Rick Flag is done.
Rick Flag is done. You heard it here first, everybody.
Right in the trash.
Rick Flag is done. Yeah. I don't even know. If James Gunn is attached, though, I think that would be a boost to the movie in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I say too. Like he can tell the story, and he's a good person to put in there to direct that, especially with Will Smith leaving and not having Margot Robbie in the film. Like he can do it, I think, and make it a good movie, so long as Warner Brothers allows him to do it and doesn't try to be like, make it this way and try to put all these constraints on him. So That's the way I feel about it. I'm not holding back. I'm telling everyone.
No, that's right.
That's the way it is. Right in the trash with Rick Flag. Don't care.
So horrible. I'm just looking at something 1 second here. All right, so I thought this coming week would have been the normal. It would have been a normal progression. This week we should be getting Detective 1000, but it looks like they pushed it a week.
Really?
Yeah, because instead, what?
It was supposed to come out this Tuesday or this Wednesday.
It would have. It should have, but
yeah, not yesterday, but the next Wednesday. Because Batman came out.
Yeah.
Batman came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Detective 999 came out 2 Wednesdays ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it should come out this week, but it's not this coming week. Instead, we're getting the Grim Knight #1.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Brian B says it's 20. I think he says it's 26, right?
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting about that? When I interviewed Greg Capullo a few years ago, he said that in that interview that he and Batman were born on the same day, March 30th, which also is my birthday. And so I think that's the reason they're just trying to get as close to it as possible, close to the actual birthday 80 years ago as possible, without it obviously being on a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, that and all the covers they have for it and everything else, it's just like,
yeah,
it just makes. I mean, that would be. I mean, it would have been amazing if the dates have lined up perfectly. So it's like,
yeah,
later, here you are, But that one, I think, I mean, from what I've seen, it's just like, I mean, all the different colors and everything that's going out there, and I think that I feel like they learned from their mistake with Action 1000, so it's probably gonna actually have something, maybe not significantly earth-shattering, but it at least will have something to continue the story on. It won't be just just a bunch of fan service as far as here's all this stuff and nothing to go along with it. Just here's a book that just says 1000 on it. Just like I mean, I would like to see them do. I mean, it's cool to see it get to that milestone of 1000, and but do something. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't have to be a death or anything like that. But just have it be something that's kind of cool, at least continue a strong story into that 1000th issue, and then have it continue on. Like, that's a smart thing to do.
All right, are y'all ready for a laugh?
Oh my god.
Okay, you ready? All right, I'm gonna share something here. Hopefully it works.
Oh man. That's a light, man.
Yeah, I mean, I seen that on Instagram when he was doing it, but I didn't see the final product. I mean, look, man, Liefeld is just pretty much living off his name right now, because back in the 90s, he would have put way more detail into that, and it would have looked a little bit better. But
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, in the 90s, he would have done a lot of different things, but I mean, it's very like, I mean, his hands are humongous.
Yeah, I know. That's what I noticed. He's got like clubs for fists.
Like, his huge. He's got these big rock hands, and it's just like. I mean, and I don't know what
the lighting on the S makes it look like it's not even. It's weird.
Yeah, and then I don't know what's going on with his torso into his legs, but it's just like it's like a short guy is up on really tall legs.
No, what it is like from the blue down, like his uniform down, is pointed one way, and just like his neck and shoulders are turned toward you. It's weird.
Yeah, and I notice how the cape is going in one direction and his hair is going in another direction.
Yeah.
Come on, Liefeld.
And it looks almost like Cable with dyed black hair.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, man. He will draw the way he draws, and no one can deny the guy as far as like his status in the industry and what he did and all the rest of it. But like, man, he's just, I mean,
But here's the thing: I would have bought in Liefeld stuff even up until now. But his artwork is just so flawed that it's such a turnoff. Like, it doesn't even make me want to go out and buy his stuff just because Liefeld anymore.
Right. I mean, you know why too? It's just he's also a guy who realized he doesn't have to do anything really more than all right. Let me.
As long as they're gonna cut him a check.
But here's the bad thing. It's like he's got a book coming out, but it's gonna sit on the shelf next to like something like this.
Yeah.
And I mean.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, man, that's just stunning.
Yeah.
I'd buy that all day before I buy that Superman Liefeld.
But the thing with that too is that like Liefeld comes from one generation where and it almost seems like he didn't full out learn values and all that type of stuff. Whereas Oddrum, you can tell like he knows how to color, he knows how light works. He went ahead and just put a really, really nice, cover together for that. And it's just like, I mean, that could be a standalone painting if you wanted it to. You know what I mean? And Liefeld stuff is never meant to be that way. Liefeld stuff is just meant to be, here it is. And unfortunately, too, it's just like, it's not just, I mean, Artdrum is just doing one cover, and that's it. Liefeld was doing whole books, so it's just like, you got the whole thing, and it's just like, I mean, I guess it shows the difference between somebody who, draws and, is a drawing professional versus somebody who actually like mastered what they do. You know what I mean? Because our Jim, you can tell like he really knows what he's doing when it comes down to it. Like that's him, really putting in effort and just making something that really just is pleasing to the eye and just is over. Whereas Liefeld is just, all right, I have a deadline. Let me go ahead and draw. Like I can draw well enough to go ahead and put scene together. What's going on in it, and that's all you have to have. So
yeah, I almost last week or yesterday, I guess it was last week. Yesterday, I almost picked up the Liefeld variant for Justice League. Yeah, but it was just because he drew Batman. How often do you see Rob Liefeld get to draw Batman? You know what I'm saying? So, but the Superman, no, the Wonder Woman, her face on the cover of that book,
horrible looking,
killed it for me. I couldn't grab that cover.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's just a guy that really, like when you look at what he does, he's a guy that got to a certain point and realized like I'm getting paid a lot of money to do this. I don't need to do anymore. Whereas Adram had to work to get noticed to be able to the guy who coasted and made himself a huge celebrity out of it went ahead and he established himself. Meanwhile, Adram's like, I have to do something that proves that I'm worthy of being here. So this is what I do.
And they all do that.
Jackie was funny. He said, I heard DC doesn't bother putting interior pages in Supergirl anymore.
I mean, it's true. But like those Adram covers, just it's almost to the point. And I'm not like I don't read Supergirl, so it's just like I don't know if the interior art is all that great. But I will say that when you see a cover that looks like that though, and the rest of the book doesn't match it, it makes you not want to open it because it's like, ah, man, like here's this masterpiece on the front, and then I get this. Okay, I mean, and
my shop still has the Batgirl number 12. The original, the one that started the craze. But I'm not going to pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah. Well, they probably want too much money for
it. They want, I think, like right under 100. Yeah. But, and it's in pretty good shape. But there's just like, something happened on the bottom corner. I'm not sure. Like, there's little color break lines. I don't know. Something happened there. I don't know what that would grade out to, but I don't know.
Actually, what's funny?
If I get talking to the shop owner, maybe one day he'll cut me a price on it. I'll take it. But
yeah, like, do you guys find? And I would say, I think for me at least, when I see somebody who has really really nice covers and kind of has the art not so the interior doesn't match the exterior just because of how good it is outside. And I think the first guy, at least in my opinion, at least one that I had seen that had done it, was Alex Ross. Like Alex Ross would draw this amazing cover on the outside, and the interior, you know, wouldn't be as good as what the cover was, but it almost like his art enhanced it. And I feel like nowadays it's kind of the opposite, where it's just like you have somebody that does this amazing cover on certain things. I mean, maybe it's just something that I'm conditioned to, just because when I see an Alex Ross cover, it's just like, okay, that just enhances the book. Meanwhile, an Art Germ or you know, even like I'm trying to think of the other guy. Was it
Matina?
Yeah, Art Germ, Matina, and I think it's like Daniel Chu. I think is the other guy who's been doing some really nice covers. Jenny Frison too. It's just like, you know, it's just like, you know, I don't know if it's just something where the artists that are doing the interior, that just, you know, if it's gotten to a point where just like those cover artists are just so good that really it's almost a disservice to put those covers on the books, just because, you know, it just makes it's just so jarring to go from, it's like going from HD to, like, you know, to standard definition. It's just like, wow, this is you know. That's just the way I look at it. Although I said, I think that with Alex Ross, I'm just conditioned to be like, oh no, that's an enhancement. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been the case. I mean, I was like that with the latest Shiri book that came out a few months ago. I was going to buy it, and then I looked inside of it, and it just, the artwork was crap. I couldn't spend $4 or $5 on that book. And even you even get that same situation with a lot of the Marvel $5 books. I mean, they'll put an awesome cover artist, and then the interiors just look like crap, and you just don't feel like you're getting, you know, $5 worth of comic.
Yeah.
I like what Taco Dan says. He says that the old days when the cover artists did the interiors as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot more really to kind of live up to than nowadays.
Hawkman, Brian Hitch.
I mean,
well, they just do cover A. But here, look, this new Punisher book looks really cool. Have y'all seen that? This new Punisher book?
Which one? Batman Punisher.
That's just the A cover. That's the Jacques A cover there for Grim Knight.
Yeah, that's a cool cover.
Delato's got a cover too. Delato's been killing it with a lot of those.
Yeah.
Let me go there.
Yeah, Jackie also makes a good point. He says that Archer and Mateen are not comic artists; they're illustrators and designers. Have they ever done interiors or just covers?
I think that I'm not sure if Hot Dreams have done.
That's a cool cover too.
But that's what I was getting at. Like, it's just like, you know, like it's not a to be a comic
no
very different. But like just this in general, this a lot of like this was done to be, you know, just a really, you know, amazing, you know, piece of art. Not something that would be. I mean, if he did a whole book of art just like this, I mean, like you'd be paying $10 a comic if that was the art that was inside of, you know, if they were to do those, just because you wouldn't be able to afford to have somebody put that much quality into every page.
It's not that. It's like what Brian B says. He says they can't keep up with these biweekly comics. I mean, if you look at, and I think the best example I've seen was Ken Lashley. Ken Lashley is a fantastic artist, but when he was on X-Men, Uncanny X-Men a few years ago, you could just tell how rushed it was because his artwork, in my opinion, looked like crap. And I was only buying it because he had been on Comic Book Fanatics panel with me a few times, and you know, I didn't really know anything about him. I wanted to support him, but when I bought those books and I was looking through them, like, man, it doesn't really look that good.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It's just, you know, for an artist, for a comic artist, is a grind, and for a cover artist, like, you have months to go ahead and get that done. But they expect, you know, the best quality work that, you know, you can possibly get, unless you're this person that's out, you know, if you're going back and doing it old school, where it's just like, all right, I'm not only am I drawing, you know, the cover, but I'm also drawing the interiors. So it's just like, you know, and there are people that do it, and it's not to say that, you know, it's unheard of now in this day and age, but it's just, you know, I don't know. I just think that when it comes to when it comes down to that, you know, it definitely can be something that is jarring, especially when you see the price point of some books. Like everyone was saying, it's just like, you know, amazing cover outside, but then the art inside doesn't even come close. It's just like, and I put down plenty of books like that. Like that's why, in certain cases, I can kind of respect, maybe something where the cover is not completely, knocked out of the park. It's just like, this is a pretty decent cover, and you go and it's like, but the interiors are good, maybe better, or at least on par with that. So it's just like it doesn't, I can go with that. Like I would say Dead Man Logan kind of has it like that. Like Dead Man Logan, the covers, they're good covers. They're just, but they're not like, like there was that one variant cover that was, I mean, incredible. And it's just like you don't have any art like that on the regular covers. Like it's just like, kind of a, I would say, just simpler type of style. But when you open the book though, it's just like the art that you get in there doesn't, it's not, something that, just takes you completely out of, the moment of what you got when you looked at the cover. And I think that's a lot of what happens. It's kind of like, if you look at a car and the outside is amazing and you get inside, it's like, the seats are all ripped and there's trash all over the place. It's like, what the hell happened here? Like, what is this? So that's the way I look at it. But yeah, the old school artists used to do great stuff. I remember at the con I went to last year, the small one in New Hampshire, I talked with Al Milgram for a long time, just about his art and everything like that. And it was just like, it was really cool to see, that's what he used to do. He just make this cover, and it's just like, I mean, he had so many great covers, and then just like, and then the inside of the book, there's so much great stuff, and just like, here it is, just all this amazing art from one person, and it was done on a monthly basis. Like, it can be done. It's just, nowadays, people, and honestly, I would argue that, it should be potentially easier to produce that stuff just because a lot of people are using, computers to do their art and everything. So it's just like, you have, just all this way to, I mean, you have a way easier time to get it out to people. You have, all these resources available in the programs that you're using to make sure that the art is, on point and good. And I think that might be why things take so long, is because, back in the day, you just had to go with what you had. And it's just like, all right, I'm going to tweak this as much as I can, but I have to, at some point I have to call it quits and stop. Now, if you're using Photoshop, I mean, the undo button is unlimited. You can keep drawing the same character over and over and over again and fix it, until it's completely 100% perfect. Like, how many hours did you waste, drawing over and over and over again?
We're getting two art germ covers next week. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Getting us in the face because we get this also.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Crazy. So yeah, he's hitting it out of the park. I was just looking through Marvel too. Like, next week's Marvel's just been pushing so many Star Wars books, man. There were like 2 or 3 Star Wars #1s this week. There's 2 next week. Like,
the Vader book was awesome.
The new Vader book?
Yes, and I like how they're doing it. It's basically like it's outside perspectives on Vader, or at least this one was. It was an outsider's perspective on Vader, like, and how they came to see him and everything like that. And it's just like the story behind it was really cool, because it's just like, these people have a specific situation, and here comes Vader out of nowhere, and the way he handles everything, he looks like the guy wants to worship him like a god. It's like, this Black Knight, like this guy, this hero came down and did this, and Vader even tells me, he's like, you shouldn't be happy about this. Like, I'm no hero. Like, just be happy that the Force is with you today. And then he went back up, and Star Destroyer came and got him and went on. But then, like, and it's just like, I think that's what they're gonna do, is kind of show from an outside perspective, all, like, just basically how everybody views Vader. So there's going to be somewhere he's going to be a complete monster. There's going to be, somewhere he's looked on as a hero. And then I think there's going to be some internal struggle type stuff too as well. So it looks like it's going to be really, really cool. Like, I like what they're doing. Like, really, honestly and truly, as far as Star Wars is concerned, those Vader books are just really, really good. And
yeah, that's one of the better stories from the Marvel Star Wars titles.
Like,
yeah,
I have yet to read a Vader based title that's been garbage. Every single one of them has been awesome. Like, and it's just so funny. I've said it a million times. It's the guy whose story has already been told. The guy who from you know, from the time he's a little kid all the way to when he dies. You know his story, and they're able to fit so much good stuff right in the middle of everything. Like, I don't know, Darth Vader is like the one guy they have pegged down perfect at Marvel in the Star Wars universe.
I don't know where Justin wants to go, but I was just reading from ScreenRant.com, and I'll put the link in the chat. It says it's talking about Suicide Squad 2. It actually talks about some villains that have been reportedly revealed to include King Shark, Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, and more. And it also says that Harley Quinn is going to be has since been confirmed that she will return for the Suicide Squad sequel. However, Will Smith dropped out because of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah,
and they also do kind of confirm the talks with Idris Elba for Deadshot. So if you guys want to get those spec books, get the first appearances of King Shark and Peacemaker and Polka Dot Man's, those might be some early pickups on some spec buys.
Polka Dot Man's power is that he makes you throw up.
Is that what it is?
Probably. I mean, if you saw a dude wearing polka dots, wouldn't you?
No, because Dusty Rhodes used to wear polka dots. The American.
Oh man, and didn't you want to throw up?
No. Well, yes and no. Yes, from when you saw it, like if you were someone who was able to see his stuff when he was in the NWA and everything, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But because I remember, like, I actually had gotten the DVD set that had come out for him, and got a chance to see like a lot of his really old stuff, and I was just like, wow, they did him dirty when he went over. But I still love Dusty Rhodes. I think Dusty Rhodes is awesome.
Oh yeah, great entertainer.
So he's one of the few, I think, that can pull off polka dots and not make you throw up.
I gotta look this guy up. I don't even know anything about polka dot man.
I think too, like I wonder if that would be something that could attract more stars to want to be in that kind of movie where it's just like, all right, so
a lot of people want to be in them because they make so much money.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's the money aspect of it too. I'm just thinking in terms of, all right, so let's say you're free up to do a Suicide Squad movie, and then next one's you're on board for the next one. It's like, yeah, scheduling conflict, I can't be in it. And it's just like, well, it's a rotating crew of people that go in, that are in the actual Suicide Squad, so you can easily be written off and not have to worry. I mean, I wonder if that would kind of attract people where it's just like, okay, it's potentially going to be new faces every single time. So it's just like, you can do this, take some time off, and then come back to it. And then, have like a, just either an awesome entrance, or maybe when you're sick of it, you just get killed off in the very beginning. Like, it just seems like there's so much freedom with this type of story.
Real quick, King Shark's first appearance is Superboy Volume 4. Number 0. So this is Superboy from 1994. This is just after the whole reign of Superman. Superman number 0, Volume 4. He makes a cameo, but then it says he makes his first full appearance in Superman Volume 4, issue number 9. So I think that's the first appearance of King Shark.
The tough part too with that though, I mean, so had they said though, are those just like rumored names to be in it, or is that they're saying like we're going with these guys here?
According to the article on ScreenRant.com, it just says that that the Suicide Squad team roster is reportedly revealed to include the likes of DC Comics, King Shark, Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, and more.
Man. I just hope it's the first iteration of Polka Dot Man that could take the dots off of his suit and make things out of them. Because all the other versions sound really lame that I just read about. But the
name sounds lame.
But that was the thing though. It's like the first guy could take the dots off of his suit and turn them into weapons or vehicles or all kinds of weird stuff. So any other version would be lame now that I read that.
Is that kind of like Mosaic? No, not Mosaic. What's the guy's name?
That was Marvel Mosaic.
Yeah. didn't he have like the dots and everything?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But I wonder if he was more like Blink, where it's just like, he can kind of, hop in one dot, like open a dot up and punch you in the face and then close it and then, escape or something like that. I don't know. I never got into that, but I mean, who knows?
He appeared on an episode of Batman: The Brave and the Bold, so I want to
Yeah,
that now.
That's actually a good show to watch if you're looking.
It is.
Your heroes and villains and stuff like I was actually surprised at how well done it was. And now I'm it was on Netflix for the longest time, and I only caught a few episodes of it just because I didn't have time to sit down and watch a lot of it. And now, I shouldn't say now, it's been gone for a while, and I'm kind of like, damn, I want to see the rest of it. So
yeah, I think the Batman is on there.
Yeah,
that one's pretty good too, though.
Yeah. I would love it if they would, because they just released that Blu-ray of the actual animated, like the full animated series, and it's just like, I want that to go on Netflix because I could sit there and watch that whole thing with no problem. I mean, I already have once. I mean, just as a kid, I watched every episode of it. It was incredible.
Yeah. I'm sure we all watched every episode 100 times over. You know what I'm saying? Through the course of school, you catch so many reruns. Like, oh, I saw this one, but you didn't turn it. You just kept watching.
Yep. That's like me and the movie Goodfellas. Like, it doesn't matter. I own the movie. It doesn't matter when it is. It doesn't even really matter how far in it is, unless they've gotten to the point where, like, Henry's in court. And it's just like, all right, well, I don't want to watch it now because it's like 10 minutes left. But other than that, if Goodfellas is on, I'm watching it. I always watch that movie. Love it. So,
several movies, yep, they'll do that to you, just suck you in.
Yep.
You're like, well, I'm not going to do anything for the next 2 hours. Great.
Same thing with was it? I mean, there's so many good movies. So many just like when when things come onto HBO and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was on, yeah.
Yeah, no, man.
It doesn't matter about. It doesn't matter about what's going on. Then you get told we gotta go out. Like, do we really though? Got
stuff on. All right. Well, we're heading up against that 10 o'clock hour, so I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. See what's going on. What do you got going on this weekend, Chris? Or what can we expect from the Mr. Boston Chris Comics channel?
I got a couple of videos that I've been recording and will be putting up. Just regarding my books that I picked up over December and January, and also my new haul. So be able to keep an eye out for those. Those are coming soon. And just for the weekend, nothing comic related right now, other than just putting up those videos and just kind of getting back in the groove of my channel. So keep an eye out for that stuff, and hopefully soon I'll have a little bit more information about the con that's happening up in New Hampshire at the end of next month, and trying to figure out what they're doing as far as the tickets and everything like that, because I want to be able to get up there to see Jim Steranko and a few others. So definitely going to be some fun going on over there. And just, as far as my channel is concerned, just stay tuned for some more videos coming at you very, very soon.
Nice. What about you, Edwin?
Well, I almost had a video up yesterday, but didn't get around to it. So another one's coming soon, though, man, because the slabs are stacking up. I actually got email from CGC yesterday. So they got another shipment that's going to be coming to me. And I think when I get that one, I'll definitely do a video. But shout out to ETA Nick. ETA Nick did a new video. I think it was today or yesterday. And so definitely keep him and his family in your prayers and thoughts. But it was good to see him kind of back on the scene a little bit. And but yeah, I'll probably do a haul here soon. And, until then, just stay tuned.
Right. Cool. Same for me. Should have a haul up hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Of course, I'll have 2 reviews this week over on ComicFrontline. Tomorrow, I think I'm reviewing. What am I reviewing this week? Uncanny X-Men 13 and something from DC. Something. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out when I start writing it later, I guess. I don't remember what book it is for DC. Oh well, no big deal. But also this weekend, there's the Atlanta Sci-Fi and Fantasy Expo. So I may go try to check that out and see what that con's all about. It looked like they had some good stuff, and it showed a picture of a vendor that was selling comics. So if nothing else, cool to walk around, see cosplayers, and pick up some cool art prints or something like that. So you never know what you might find at one of those type shows. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever been to just a sci-fi and fantasy expo before. So something fun to do, and it's free.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't be
Free
free,
time.
right? Can't be free. So yeah, just normal stuff like that. But thanks so much everybody for tuning in and watching us over here tonight. I'm reasonably sure next week we'll probably be back over on Jesse's channel, JLS Comics, for the normal Thursday's comic conversation. So until next week, though, thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Wait, I gotta make it stop. There we go.